In today's video, I wanted to go over the numbers with you and share how profitable raising quail is on our farm. So one way that we make money with our quail is by selling their eggs. We raise jumbo Coturnix quail and they happen to be very prolific layers. They can lay between 200 and 300 eggs a year per hen. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna do it on the low side and say about 200 eggs per hen, and we have 75 behind me right now. There's 12 males and 63 females. So if you take those 63 females and multiply them by that roughly 200, it'll give you about 13,000 eggs per year, which comes to, again, roughly 1,100 eggs per month. So with those 1,100 eggs per month, we found that as far as selling them, we sell them in, this is in the bucket that we sell them in, but these are the ones that we gather. And so we'll actually sell them in buckets of 12 dozen a piece. And we sell those for $25 a bucket. So that's, roughly about $2 a dozen if we sell it that way. I personally like that way because then I don't have to sit there and package each individual egg in those little quail cartons. So we have a bucket similar to this that we can put them in, and then we just count them out and sell them that way, and that's just really easy. And so based on that 1,100 eggs per month, we can do about 7 or 8 of those a piece. So if we sold all the eggs that way, that would give us about $200 a month in egg sales. Another way, if you wanted to break it down further and if you wanted to sell them by the dozen, for us, a fair price is $3 a dozen. I've seen them in grocery stores as high as $5 or $6 a dozen. I personally think that's ridiculous, but if you can get it, I guess so. But $3 a dozen seems fair to me. So if you want to do $3 a dozen, that'd give you roughly 90 dozen per month to sell. Times the $3 would give you about $270 a month in egg sales. So obviously you make a little bit more profit potential by selling them by the dozen, but again, it's a lot more work. And to me, if you've got customers that want to buy them 12 dozen at a time for $2, that just seems easier, and we're happy doing it that way. So another way that you can make money off your quail is by selling them live. Now we have 4 different price points on how we sell them. So if they're 0 to 2 weeks old, we sell them for $2 a piece. At 2 to 4 weeks old, they're $3. At 4 to 6 weeks, they're $4. And 6 to 8 weeks is $5. Now we normally hatch out about 80 per month. Our incubator can hold 100 eggs, and we normally have about an 80% hatch rate. So that gives us 80 chicks per month that we can sell. And I've found really at that 4 to 6 week price point at $4 a piece, that kind of seems to be like the sweet spot where it's the best income for us, but it's also the best value for our customers too, because at 4 to 6 weeks, one, they're way past that age of where they're really young and you can lose some. And so they're healthy and they're almost mature at that point to where they're going to be close to laying eggs within another week or two. And so for somebody that wants to get into raising quail, now they have birds that within 2 weeks at the most, they're going to start getting eggs on their own, and they'll be on their path to self-sustainability. So at that price point of the 4 to 6 weeks for $4 a bird, and then we have 80 per month, which gives us an income of $320 a month. We have considered processing them and selling them that way, but we haven't really done that because when I was doing the research, the best I could find was quail meat sales for anywhere between $11 to $16 a pound. And it takes, an average of about 4 quail to equal 1 1/4 pounds. And so that price range is going to put them for 4 quail processed between, roughly $14 and $20 for the pack. So on that high side of $20, that's $5 a quail. And I have to go through the labor of processing them to get them there and package them. So if I can get somebody to buy them at 4 to 6 weeks for $4 a bird, that's pretty much a no-brainer to go that route. And then, it works out for us too, because you know, at that 6 to 8 week range, we normally process them at 8 weeks, and so whatever we haven't sold at 8 weeks, we end up processing them anyway, and that's what we put in the freezer to feed our family. As far as feed cost goes, it does vary throughout the year. If we have these chicks like what we have out here on pasture, you know, they need their food. But if we're not raising any chicks at the time, or if they're just, you know, just day or two old chicks, they're not consuming that much. You know, and so our feed costs a little bit lower during that time. But on average throughout the year that we've been raising quail, it's been about $80 a month is what it cost us. And as far as our setup for everything that we've built for them, we might have $500 or $600 in materials tied up in cages and waters or feed trays or the incubator and things like that. So it's not a huge expense to get started raising quail. So with our current setup and the way that we do things as far as selling them in the buckets of 12 dozen and then selling them at that $4 price point, we have an income potential of $520 a month. And then minus that $80 in feed expense, which gives us a profit of $440 a month. And the way we do it is such a very small scale, and it could easily be upgraded if the demand is there for more quail and eggs. So I mean, adding another incubator, you know, you can double that 320, you know, and so that'll get you close to $1,000 a month just by, you know, if we invested another $200, $250 in a small incubator, or get one of the larger, you know, cabinet incubators that can hold, you know, several hundred eggs. But for most people starting out, I feel like the incubator we have is a good value for getting into it. But other than scaling up to have more quail, you know, another thing that we've kind of dabbled in that we're beginning to start to make is selling pickled quail eggs. You know, and those normally sell for about $12 a pint around here. So, you know, there's a little bit of money to be made doing that. And then again, we raise the jumbo Coturnix quail, which are, you know, a little bit of the heavier side as far as quail go. So they're not the breed that you would want to sell, like as far as for hunting purposes. But if you raised, you know, either a bob white, you know, a quail like that that's more of a true game bird, then there are hunting clubs out there that'll purchase your quail for them to do quail hunts. You know, and so that's another way, you know, to possibly make a little bit of income off your quail. All in all, we've been happy adding quail to our homestead, and we'll continue to do so. It's really nice to have that extra supply of meat and eggs that we can add, you know, to feed our family. And then also there's a little bit of income potential with it as well that kind of helps pay for it and makes it a little bit worth the labor to do it. You know, and obviously on the scale that we do it, we're not going to get rich at this setup, but if you have a homestead, I mean, you'll know that just every little bit helps. And so if we can make, you know, an extra $400 or $500 a month, I mean, that's $5,000 or $6,000 a year that we add to our income. So it's definitely worth it for us, and at least as far as I can tell, we'll continue to do so. So I hope this video has been helpful for you and helping you make your decision on whether you want to add quail to your homestead or not. If you want to see our quail setup, be sure to click this video here, and also don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see y'all next time.